What's up, guys, and welcome to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. The last video I did was on the top 10 characters to Zeta in the game. This video is going to be on the top 10 free-to-play players slash easier to achieve characters in the game for early to mid to even some late game players, or to add extra oomph to your team and other aspects of the game. No characters will be the same on both lists. For instance, Bastila and Bosk could be on this list as well. But since they're just part of the top 10 best characters overall, I'm not including them on this list because they are in the best of the best list. Without further ado, let's get to this. This is in no particular order. I do have 5 honorable mention as well. And of course, this is in my humble opinion. So if you agree or disagree with me, please leave comments in the comment section. First is Darth Maul and his Dancing Shadows leadership ability. As you can see, I don't have him Zeta'd. I didn't use him very much. He's still a great character. If you're early, mid-game, looking to run a Sith team, and this is the best leader you have, or best Sith you have, put it on him. He's going to be getting a bunch. Every Sith ally is going to be gaining stealth. They're going to be evading a lot. It's a lot of fun to use. Next, Chief Chirpa. For those of you liking Ewoks or looking to really take off in other aspects of the game, the Ewoks are great for that because they can defeat almost any meta team on offense if modded correctly. They don't hold well on defense, in my opinion, but if you save them in Territory Wars and Grand Arena for offense, you're going to be able to take out Traya, Revan, even some of the best teams if they're modded correctly. And Chief Chirpa's leadership ability, Simple Tactics, really helps them carry that along. When Ewoks use special abilities, there's potential to call somebody to assist. It's a great ability, definitely one you should consider. And Ewoks are a faction you should actually consider farming in the game in general. Next, General Veers, Imperial Troopers leader, one of my favorite characters in the game overall. His aggressive tactician ability is the one that has the Zeta ability. Extra offense, extra turn meter gain chance. Awesome character, really takes Imperial Troopers to the next level. And for those of you that constantly remind me, Range Trooper takes him the next level even farther, so I am going to work on farming him, but Veers is definitely on this top 10 list. Next is Finn. Even though Finn got, we considered, nerfed, he can't do as much damage in the Heroic Sith Raid Phase 3, or I guess he can't solo it with 3PO. But his leadership ability is still pretty darn good, and that's his balanced tactic leadership ability. This is the only ability I'm actually going to read on this list because it has changed recently. Whenever a resistance ally loses foresight, they gain advantage for 2 turns. Whenever an enemy takes damage from exposed, reduce the cooldowns of all resistance allies by 1 and grant them 35% turn meter. Okay, so that is a change from the last one, but he's still great. He's going to be extremely helpful in Grand Arena and Territory Wars. You know, if you have them modded correctly with a good PO, you're still going to be able to win on offense almost all the time. And of course, he's good in other aspects of the game as well. So Finn is definitely on the list. He has been on the list forever as one of the best Zetas, and he still is, even with the rework. Next is Fulcrum. If you're looking to do massive amounts of damage, Fulcrum can do it. Get her in a team with characters that can gain a lot of buffs. Maybe put her with Grandmaster Yoda, who can spread a lot of buffs. Give her Whirlwind ability, the Zeta, and she's going to reduce the cooldown on that ability. She's going to be able to do more damage with it, or the other enemies have minus 50% armor against this attack. She can knock enemies out big time. She's a ton of fun to use. That's why she makes this list. She can become an offensive juggernaut if put with the right team. Next, a character I know is going to be argued about being on here, but he is one of my favorite. And again, it's my list. So that is Ezra Bridger. His Flourish ability, when this is Zeta'd, it does more damage, which makes it more fun to use. He can gain more turn meter and defense up as well. But just still, I use him in Phase 2 of the Heroic Sith Raid. Some people don't. I get defense penetration up on him, all those other crit damage, offense up buffs. He can go to town. He hits like a truck. He's one of my favorite characters to use in the game. And he's actually one of my favorite Star Wars characters in the entire Star Wars universe as well. Next, a character that was just added to this list because he just was released with Zetas a few weeks ago, General Grievous. He didn't live up to the hype that everybody was hyping him up to be, I guess. Some people say that we shouldn't have overhyped him the way it was, but his abilities, Daunting Presence, and Metalloid Monstrosity can really take things to the next level for droids. I'm not saying in Arena, but for Grand Arena and Territory Wars, I'm actually going to put some Zetas on him. I've also watched footage of it. I understand what's going on. And I have 83 Zetas. I'm going to wait to Zeta when the new character comes out, which is most likely Revan. And if I put a Zeta on HK47, I'm going to do that. But I am going to Zeta him eventually because I want to have a good droid team to help diversify myself in Grand Arena and Territory War. And I do include him on this list because people can, you know, a lot of people probably have him at a certain star level because he's been out since the beginning of the game. He is in my top 10 as well. Next, Baris offee has been on this list for many months. She used to be on the top 10. It's her swift recovery ability. This Zeta basically allows, when an ally's critical hit, they recover health. Man, there's a lot of teams that you run that critically hit all the time. If you're facing a Baris Zeta team, the other team's going to be gaining health off that. You're going to want to not critically hit somebody. It's a nightmare to get through, and she's an amazing character. Not as good now as she used to be, especially with Jedi Training Race. She kind of ended Baris's meta because of her ability to put, it's like heal immunity, but it can't be wiped away. It's amazing. But Baris is still on this list to put in a team. She can make a team a lot tougher, and she's a healer besides that, so definitely somebody you should consider if you're looking for somebody else to Zeta to boost your squad. Next, Nest. This is a character I really fought with putting on the list at all because she is harder to achieve, but I decided to put her on here because of she's viable at 3 stars. Her fighting instinct ability makes her more powerful. She can ignore taunts. She gains health steal when they lose debuffs or gain buffs. It's amazing. She can stack up damage. She can be a tank as well. You can mod her with tenacity so she doesn't get stunned either. She can, you know, she's a great character, and she's good at 3 stars, so I also included her on this list for that reason, because if you're looking to boost your squad, no matter where you're at in the game, early game, mid game, late game, she's a character you should look at and definitely put a Zeta on. Next, it would be the leader that you would use for a Nest team. Now, Nest can be used in almost any team, but if you're looking for a Scoundrel team in general, the next character would be Kira. I'm also going to throw a Zeta on her pretty soon, but her Zeta is amazing because her leadership, or this ability is amazing the way it is. Her leadership ability is awesome. So this ability adds even more because it adds 5% potency, and other Scoundrel allies gain half potency and half critical damage bonuses to what she has here in the ability. When you're gaining more potency and critical chance, you're doing more damage and landing more debuffs. That's why I have her on this list. I know people will argue with me because of that, but if you're looking to run a Scoundrel team, specifically a Scoundrel team, Kira is the only Scoundrel leader right now, besides a bounty hunter that can be a Scoundrel, that is actually good. I hope they add Hondo to the game at some point in time, and he has a leadership ability. But Kira, her leadership ability is excellent, and she also shares other things with smugglers with the insult to injury Zeta. Now we're going to look at the 5 honorable mention. These will be questionable for some of you. They're based on what I look for in Zeta's characters I'm going to Zeta in the future. Ones that I really think will help you go farther in the game in all areas. Number 1, Kylo Ren, the original Kylo Ren. He easily could have been in the top 10 list, guys. And I know some people are probably going to, you know, bite me because he's not. But his outrage ability, guys, he gains damage, and then he recovers protection equal to the damage dealt. Whenever you can constantly be healing yourself, making yourself more survivable, you become a great character. And him and Kylo Ren Unmasked in the leadership ability with a Zeta, and Kylo Ren with a Zeta really makes a First Order team a lot better than it would be without it. You want to throw in First Order Executioner somewhere as well. So he's on the honorable mention list. Next, we have Zalbar. Zalbar is amazing, and I love him. He's the Mission's Guardian ability. Basically what it does, I won't read the whole thing, but especially you want to use him with Mission, but even if you don't, he's going to be recovering protection each time a damage over time effect for every damage over time effect on enemies. You use him with the Vader lead in some instances. You use him with Karth. Karth would be a great lead because he's also an Old Republic character as well. And I just think that the ability to continue to heal, gain health, gain protection with his ability in general is going to be amazing because I think it makes him a very viable tank. I know this one will be questionable to some of you, but I think he's good. That's why I put him on the list. Of course, this is the honorable mention. Next, Visas Mar. Now, her ability, when we quick look at it, Return to the Light, this is the Zeta ability I'm going to add as well. Because when she has no debuff, she has a 60% chance to assist when another ally attacks Sith enemies once per turn. Now, with probably Darth Revan or Darth Malik coming out, you know how many people I've had call me and say, "Hey, Dark Revan's coming." It's not Dark Revan, it's Darth Revan. And now you're getting me to say Dark Revan, which is, I'm a complete Star Wars nerd, which makes me feel like I don't deserve to be in the universe anymore. When Darth Revan or Darth Malik come out, they're going to be probably a Sith team, maybe some Old Republic characters in there. I think she could be useful against that team with her ability to constantly assist. I may be wrong, but even this ability is pretty good overall as well if you want to use her in phase 1 of the Sith Raid. She's a healer as well. I know she's only good against Sith teams with this Zeta. I mean, she's good against many teams herself, but the Zeta is really only good against Sith teams. I just have a feeling it's something we could be using in the future to counter a certain team. So think about that. Definitely not a priority. Next, Kanan. Kanan was somebody that I probably could put on the top 10 list. Absolutely. You know, Zbar, Visas, they shouldn't have deserved to be on the top 10 free-to-play character Zetas. Kanan should be. Why? Because his Zeta gives the Phoenix a cleanse. He can give a mass cleanse, a mass dispel to the Phoenix team with his total defense Zeta, and it totally makes them even better than they are. That's the one thing the Phoenix was lacking, was a cleanser. Kanan can do it. He's also a tank. That's why he was very close to being put on the top 10 list the way it was. But really, if you want to, I love Phoenix, and they're great in all aspects of the game, and they're best beginning team in the game. So if you want a Zeta Kanan, do not feel guilty about it whatsoever. Last but not least, the one, the only, before my mouth gets so dry I can't speak anymore. T3M4. This character is probably not on anybody's list, but again, these characters are characters that are farmable. Okay, you can get them in many aspects of the game, where I'm not going to say you can get them easily, but you can farm them. You know, it's not like an event character or a raid character. The combat logic upgrade, okay, that's going to keep building critical chance or critical damage up for your team for every debuff on the enemies. And then the Master Gearhead gives 100% defense penetration to all the other droids on the team. I still think somehow you fit him in with a Grievous team with all of those abilities. There's going to be a lot of damage going on around. And I'm trying to theory craft a droid team for Grand Arena Territory War. You know, like I said, I want to diversify myself, and I'm going to help you guys do that as well. And we don't, you know, First Order has a good team. Resistance has a good team you can run. I really want to be able to figure out a droid team. Now, there is one, you know, Grievous, was it Magnagard and B1 or Grievous, Droidica B1, I can't remember exactly. I have to do some more research on it. Is a pretty darn good 3v3 team. It can murder people. But again, I'm looking for 5v5 Territory Wars as well. I just think T3 could fit in there somewhere because of his ability to support other droids. So that is the top 10 plus 5 honorable mention, free to play / easier to achieve Zetas in the game. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there Zetas that should be on here? Are there Zetas that shouldn't be on here? Should some of the honorable mention be in the top? Again, this is opinionated, but I do know that these characters will be important for you earlier to mid-game. They're characters that are achievable. And, you know, I don't know how much T3 or Visas will help you necessarily as a mid-game player, but I think there's Zetas that could be turned into something, so understand that. The other ones are pretty much a must if you're looking to progress in the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please smash the subscribe button, like the video, click the notification bell so you can be alerted to all videos that I post. Also, I'm leaving a link to my Discord server and Patreon page in the description below. Make sure you check that out. In the comment section, I mention it all the time, but I'm going to keep mentioning it. Leave comments about the video and give me more video ideas, because most of the video ideas I get come from you guys and they keep me going. So again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.